Alright guys, time for another fragrance review. Haven't done one in a while. Pretty late to the party, but my Creed Aventus Cologne review, impression, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, quite a bit late. I feel like I'm like 6 months late, maybe. Really late to the party. I think the party's already over if there was one for it. Although apparently I was talking to a sales associate recently, and she told me this has actually been selling pretty well. She actually told me that she said that they made, I don't know if this is just her quota at that specific Creed boutique, but she said they made their quota for the entire year within 2 months, just from Creed Aventus Cologne. I know she was telling me that Viking didn't sell quite as well as they were hoping. It took a while for Viking to get going, but I guess Creed Aventus Cologne has been doing pretty well. Anyway, so what do I think of this? I saw a lot of people saying that, and I guess you would assume that it smells like a fresher, cleaner Aventus, you know what I mean? Maybe a more, probably for lack of a better word, versatile, because I don't think that Aventus is necessarily a, not versatile scent per se, but a fresher, cleaner, more versatile, maybe, version of Aventus. And I've seen a kind of common thought that it's kind of like basically Aventus, but with some Allure Homme Sport in it. And when I first tried this, when I tried the opening at first, I was like, okay, yeah, I can see that. It is, of course, it smells like a Ventus. It's fresher, it's cleaner. You know what I mean? I can sort of maybe see a little bit of that Allure Homme Sport, just a pinch at the beginning. And when I first smelled this, I was like, you know what? I think I might like this more than a Ventus, right? Because again, I'll tell you this, I've said this many times. My opinion of Aventus is, and I've gotten many compliments on Aventus, and I also am of the opinion, and it's happened to me, I do think that guys like Aventus much more than girls do, but I've had many compliments from girls on Aventus. But Aventus for me, and I've said this, is Aventus still for me is a vibe fragrance. I think Aventus smells a little bit older, right? It's a little bit going daddy mode. And if I wanted to smell older and if I wanted to be that kind of vibe, generally speaking, there's just too many other fragrances that I would rather wear. It's not like I think Aventus smells bad or anything, but if I wanted a what I consider vibe fragrance, there's just too many other things I would rather wear. So, geez, this year's coming to an end. I've probably only worn Aventus a few times, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I don't even know if I've worn Aventus 10 times this year. I'm sure I haven't. It just doesn't really interest me. If I wanted, there's too many other things I would rather wear personally. It had its day in the sun. It was fun when you are into fragrances or into any hobby. Often you want to say like, oh, I want to see if this person likes something that I like, or oh, this person says they get a lot of compliments. I want to see, can I get compliments with it too? And me and my fragrance journey, I'm past that phase. So it doesn't have a lot of meaning to me anymore, right? I guess if I had a girlfriend that really wanted me to wear it, whatever, right? And of course, Aventus has just been done to death. I mean, so many people wear either Aventus or a clone of it. I couldn't even tell you, right? Whatever the case. But when I first smelled Aventus cologne, I was like, oh, you know what? I might like this a little bit more than Aventus because I kind of do appreciate a little bit more freshness, maybe even a little bit of a fruitiness right at the beginning. You know what I mean? Like this was a little bit more cleaner. I might like this a little bit more, right? Because maybe it's not going to be quite as vibish. And if it really does turn into just a Allure Homme Sport with Aventus, that might be kind of interesting to me. The price is still ridiculous, so I don't care, right? But you know what? Maybe I'd actually kind of want to wear this more because it'd feel a little bit more versatile for me in that sense. Because again, a little bit less vibish. But unfortunately for me, and after this happened to me, I looked it up and I did see other people say this. Although it's the minority, this thing was hella musky on me. This thing is extremely musky on me after the beginning blast. This, as it dries down, it just gets, it's very musky, dude. And I don't know if this is because I tried it in colder weather, like, something that I know a lot of people talk about skin chemistry, right? Something I don't see a lot of people talk about is you got to remember just the air around us. The air around us has a smell. Summer has a smell. Spring has a smell. Winter has a smell, right? So just that can change the way you smell fragrance, right? So maybe it's that I'm trying this during winter, Again, I'm really late to the party. But man, this thing was very musky. And it actually is so musky, instead of being a potentially sexier vibe, this smells old, actually. I think this smells potentially old and dated to me when it dried down. Like, I'm very surprised when I see people say that they think this is like young smelling. This, after the beginning blast, when it starts to dry down, dude, it smells older, dude. Like, if I were to try to make this funny, I would imagine say like, hey, I make cologne. How I got that job, I don't know. Someone, they were out of people, right? The union's been on strike, dude. Fragcom's been on strike. Get Clayton to make a fragrance. He doesn't know shit, right? But whatever the case, they're like, hey, Clayton, make a fresher version of Aventus. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, I gotta go make this shit, right? So I make this, right? And unfortunately, the next day, the boss is like, oh hey, Clayton, what'd you do with the Aventus? Did you make it? I'm like, oh yeah, dude, fresher Aventus, I got it. I'll be right back. I left it in my grandpa's bathroom for some reason. You go to your grandpa's bathroom. You open up the bathroom door. It's in his cupboard, and there's just that smell that I associate when I'm younger, like when I'm a kid. Do you ever remember, like, for me personally, right? Do you ever like go like and you see your uncle or you're like, oh, there's some sort of like older person that you don't see a long time. You know, you see them maybe once or twice a year or whatever for family holidays, and you get that kind of like grandpa hug or that uncle hug, and they're wearing cologne, and it's kind of like a negative way almost, I think, right? That's what I smell. You smell that like kind of musky smell. That kind of like, oh, I open up the bathroom cupboard and they're spraying, they're supposed to be trying to smell good. They're supposed to be trying to smell clean. But you get that kind of thick bathroom kind of smell and musky kind of smell of like an old person's, for lack of a better word, cologne or fragrance or something like that. And it smells dated to me. I don't think it smells fun. So that's basically what I got. You got your, man, a fresher version of Aventus. It does smell a bit like Aventus. Maybe for the very beginning, I can see a little bit of that Allure Homme Sport that people say, but I think this is an insult to Allure Homme Sport. You get that blast and it goes away, and then you just get kind of a fresher Aventus, I guess, with a extremely musky smell, extremely musky, quite going towards being dated. It's not older in a potentially fuck me daddy kind of way. It's not older in that kind of like sexual kind of way. It just smells older in a potentially comforting kind of way, I think, but not a fun way, not a sexy way, just an older, dated way. You know what I mean? So whereas Aventus, maybe you can get, Aventus can be a vibe, maybe a daddy kind of vibe, and just smell a bit older. This smells kind of older in a dated kind of way, I think, in a potentially comforting, nice kind of way, but a also dated kind of way. Like, I mean, I don't think it smells sexy at all. There's just, I can't see myself ever wearing it. I'm gonna try it again because I got this little sample thing here, dude. So I'm gonna try it, and I'll give it a try during summer months, of course, as well. But I'm gonna give it a pass. I didn't think it was very interesting. Again, the musk, and you know what? I'm in the minority, but I did read some other reviews and other people. I do see some people saying that it was very musky on them as well. I got the musk, dude. Complete, very musky. So anyway, cleaner version of Aventus, maybe. A little bit of Allure Homme Sport, maybe, just right when it starts off. But then it starts becoming very, very musky, and I think it smells dated. Not my thing. Like most people say, the performance and for the performance and the money, it's a lot of money. But whatever, dude. That is what it is. It doesn't bother me because I'm not gonna get it, right? But that's my review of Creed Aventus Cologne. Again, I still really like fragrances, but it's just even spending money on samples all the time gets to be quite a bit of money. I still need to get, I still plan on getting some like decants of those Initio perfumes because I actually did like those. So that's actually what I'm getting next. Probably if I buy anything. Right? I know I do plan on trying to go on a sample haul before the end of the year to try other stuff, but in general, again, it is what it is. Got to be an adult with my money, right? So that's man for Creed Aventus Cologne, and